As Northern Ireland works towards creating a new society for its many citizens, it is also struggling with an important question. How does it deal with what happened from the late 1960s through to the 1990s, the period known as the Troubles? During that period, more than 3,500 people were killed. Some were killed by terrorist groups, others by the army or the police. Two organisations which belong to the criminal justice system in Northern Ireland are examining many of these deaths. The police have an historical inquiries team which is looking at most of the killings. The law in Northern Ireland does not allow the police to investigate incidents in which they have been involved. These are investigated by the Police Ombudsman's Office, the organisation which handles complaints about the conduct of PSNI officers. The office has its own teams of investigators, none of whom are members of the PSNI. The Police Ombudsman's Office has an Historical Investigations Directorate, to which the PSNI refer all deaths during the Troubles where police are known or suspected to have been involved in a killing or where it is thought police did not deal with the matter properly. The Directorate also investigates complaints from members of the public about incidents during this period if those complaints are of a grave or exceptional nature. Some people complain that the police, during that period the Royal Ulster Constabulary, did not investigate the killings properly. Some people also allege that the police may have allowed the killings to go ahead or that they helped those responsible to escape capture. The Police Ombudsman is Dr. Michael Maguire. He believes that this work is important.
The office deals with some of the most serious cases that any police oversight organisation can deal with in relation to history matters. It could be conspiracy to murder, allegations of malfeasance in public office, of failure to investigate. These are hugely significant issues. We've been asked to do this work by families, by the police themselves, and by others who think that it's extremely important that there's an independent and impartial investigation of this work. Those of us that deal with families can't fail to be moved by the pain and the hurt that many families feel, often after many decades, and they're looking to this office to deal with these issues in a fair and impartial way.
Investigations by the Police Ombudsman's Office are based on evidence. Paul Holmes, who leads these investigators, explains how his team go about their work.
First action for us will be to engage with the family from whom this complaint has originated. Historic complaints are almost exclusively about the death of a family member. So we will interview the family, we will get as much information from them as we can. Even the smallest of details can turn out to be very important. And it could be the whole family we see, or it could be just a small number of members of the family. That's our starting point, to identify what their concerns are, what their complaints are, and what evidence they may be able to assist us with in support of those complaints. We'll then trawl the police estate for any relevant documents. These may include murder investigation files, they may include access to intelligence records and other material. In fact, the PSNI have a large archived store with a huge amount of material associated with murders which occurred during the Troubles. We will look to interview other witnesses, whether they're members of the public, or whether they are often, generally for us, former police officers. Some of those former police officers will assist, like other witnesses, and some won't. But in our experience, many of them do assist us and provide us with evidence. If we identify evidence of criminality, or we have other reason to suspect that criminality has occurred, we may declare a former police officer as a suspect, in which case they will be interviewed under caution, often accompanied by a lawyer.
Paul says the work has its own challenges and demands special skills.
Some of the challenges involved will be records are no longer available, either because they've been misplaced or destroyed. Some witnesses potential witnesses have unfortunately passed on, no longer available. Other witnesses may only have vague memories, or indeed even inaccurate memories of what occurred. Some witnesses, including former police officers, may not wish to engage because they take the view that what is behind them is behind them, and they don't want to revisit that. We have to be mindful all the time, of course, that we're asking people to revisit very traumatic incidents in their lives, both the families who are bereaved and also police officers. So we have to be mindful that we don't re-traumatise.
When the Police Ombudsman's Office has finished these investigations, it will tell the relatives of those who were killed and the PSNI its views on the actions and conduct of police at the time. Sometimes the office finds evidence which makes it critical of the police actions. Sometimes it has no such evidence and makes no such criticism. All these findings are then published. You can find them on the Police Ombudsman's website, www.policeombudsman.org. You should look under Investigations Reports, under Other Significant Reports tab, and then at the dates of the incident. Sometimes the families welcome the findings of the reports and believe the office has got to the truth. In one case, a report by the office found that police had such information that they ought to have known there was an IRA booby trap bomb in a property in the Craigan estate in Derry, Londonderry, but did nothing to warn those living there of the possible danger. The bomb exploded on Wednesday the 31st of August 1988, killing 2 people instantly. A third person was injured and died 7 months later. Sometimes the families reject the reports. On the 30th of October 2007, for example, the office released the findings of an investigation into police conduct following the murder of 2 brothers in Armagh in 1993 and found no evidence of police colluding with terrorists. The families rejected those findings. Dr. Maguire believes that how his office deals with the past is one of its biggest challenges.
The past is a hugely difficult issue. We're dealing with some of the most complex cases that any police oversight organisation can deal with. Part of the problem in the past has been that the work of the office is seen to be one of winners and losers, and a good Ombudsman's report was one that you actually agreed with. I think we need to move on from that, and as citizens I think we need to be able to determine how we're going to deal with the past in a fair and impartial and objective way. That's a hugely difficult thing to do, but the work of this office I think is fundamental in addressing some of those very serious issues.
You can find out more information about this work and about the Police Ombudsman's other work, its handling of complaints about modern policing, by logging on to its website or by following the office on Twitter or Facebook.